Beautiful people. Hello, 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 hello. It's been a long time. It's been a long time. I know. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. I don't even. Hey, man. There's an episode before this one that was launched last week, and that episode I shot like months ago. I don't know why I didn't post it. I thought it wasn't up to par. I even forgot to do an intro for it. But I feel like everything that I wanted to say, I said properly. And I highly recommend that you go watch it because all I will say so that you can watch it is that the fruit that Adam and Eve ate was pride, not an apple. And if you want to know why, go watch the episode and share it, people. Guys, please, if anything, if there's any episode that I wish for you guys to share, or any kind of episode that I want you guys to share, is episodes where I talk about God. Because I feel like everybody deserves to know about God because He's so nice and amazing. People are literally dog shit, but God is always going to be amazing. So don't blame human beings for human beings' behavior and decisions for how horrible and mean and evil reality can be, because listen, God is a good God, always, all the time, and reality is just an amalgamation of human decisions and their consequences. So if anything, the way that the world is our fault, okay? So don't be blaming God, because don't blame the inventor of the car for being a bad driver. Got nothing to do with the manufacturer, honey. Got everything to do with the user, okay? But that aside, I'm sure, first of all, did you subscribe? I bet you didn't. If you're listening on Apple or podcasts or on Spotify, did you press that follow button? Are you rating me 5 stars? Because I mean, like, hello, 5 stars top shit only. I'm kidding. But please subscribe, like, comment, share, all those beautiful things. And I'm not gonna even tell you that there's like this long list of socials that you need to follow, but like you can all find that in the link tree, which is in the description box below, where you can find literally everything, my social media and information, the pod's social media and information, all of it, all of it, let it be there. And follow me. Like, how can you not follow the host? Hey guys, please go follow me, Pella. I'm a model. I need these followers. Social media followers are currency. It's just the sad reality. It's not like back in the day where you could just be like model, boom, boom, pow, and social media doesn't matter. But now social media matters. Okay, I need them followers. But yeah, those will come naturally, Shame. I want to build a genuine audience. I don't want to just have like bots. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm sure. Hey, let me check if the mic is on. Next thing, I'm talking into something that I forgot to switch on. Give me a second. Okay, the mic is on. The mic is on. On. Wow, like in real life, the blush that I put on looks like it's like a lot, but on the camera, it doesn't look like much. Except for this side. I don't know. Anyway, guys, I'm sure you've all watched The Polygamist. If you haven't watched The Polygamist, please go watch that dang on show. What a hit show. What good TV. This is what I mean, and this is what I want. Netflix, when you release a season of something, it mustn't be 8 to 10 episodes. Give me those 22. I finished The Polygamist within like a day or two. Less than 48 hours, I can tell you for sure. But like, what a show. What a show, what a show, what a show. I'm not here to tell you the plots. I'm not here to tell you the story. I'm just here to talk about the women in the story because I'm a woman. I'm not going to speak on a man's shitty behavior. I can't tell you why men cheat. I can't tell you why men lack self-control. I can't tell you why men lie. I can't tell you why men are selfish. I can't tell you why men are manipulative. I can't tell you why men sometimes can just be such a lackluster excuse of existence sometimes. Like, I can't explain that to you because I'm not a man. I have a vagine. I don't have a peen. Okay? So I'm just here to talk about the women. Okay? First of all, may we never be none of those women. Never a Essie, never a Joyce, never a Matiba. Aratomenka Essie. Let me tell you something, guys. Never in your life fall in love with a playboy. You are setting yourself up for failure. Like, When they say that a leopard never changes their spots, that saying came from somewhere because people have proven to never change who they are unless they obviously genuinely wanted to change and they make the things to change, which is often very rare in men. Very rare in men. Because when the polygamist was busy trending on social media and things like that, people were talking about how that was their father. How that was their father, but the broke version. That's their father exactly like that. This is my father. They all could find a way to relate in that aspect. Don't fall in love with the playboy. And if you do fall in love with the playboy and you see him being a playboy, like Essie saw him, when they were in Lokshin, she saw the things that Jonas was doing. Mara, ne amorata ne, and watching something right now. Don't ever let the way that you love somebody and how big your heart is, never allow your big heart to be manipulated and mistreated. That's why I feel like the moral of this story here is love yourself more than anything and anyone ever. Love yourself, like love yourself, have your self dignity, understand your self worth. Please, I beg of thee. I can imagine it to be completely different when you're married because marriage is supposed to be a sacred, beautiful thing where two people become one in front of the eyes of God, and it's supposed to be a beautiful union between two people. But because men are pieces of shit, marriage looks like something that's just so horrible. But you know what? It works to the man's benefit to make marriage look horrible because that means they get to make less of a commitment to the women that they want to be with. They'd rather give you a baby, in Essie's case too, than marry you. Lena, hey, don't fall for a playboy. Let me tell you. Don't fall for a playboy. Don't fall for a playboy. Don't fall for a playboy. You know? Like, I don't know what Essie did. Yo, guys, I can't even explain the amount of disappointment I feel. It's like here you are, a beautiful woman who's truly a ride or die, and you have compromised possibly any chance of being with a good person. I think his name was Magesh, the Jonas's brother, being with somebody like that who's actually there for your kids, who's there for you, and you've sacrificed all of that to be with a man that's only gonna visit you to fuck, and because he bought you a house and a car. Yo, I'd rather chew an electric fence. I would rather chew an electric fence. Let me tell you something. In the way that I speak, please also understand that it's coming from the perspective of being raised by a single mother. My dad is not a deadbeat. Okay, he was not a deadbeat. He is just no longer on this earth anymore. May he rest in peace. And he hasn't been for a very long time. So most of my life has just been me being raised by a single mother. So all of the advice I'm giving you, understand that it's coming from the perspective of a woman, me, who's been raised by a woman who is all about, if it's not what she knows that she deserves, she's not going to be in it. Okay? And that's also going to be me because that's who I've grown up to be with. But also understand is that I've had, even though my grandfather passed away before I was born, my mom grew up in a dynamic of like a two-parent household where they married literally till death did them part. My grandma didn't even remarry ever because that was the love of her life. And from the stories that I hear about their marriage, it was just nothing but amazing. So obviously there's dynamics and things like that. But know your worth, girl. Never be an Essie and stick with the playboy. Especially once he's made it. Ew. Can I tell you? When these men rap about get money, fuck bitches, they mean that once they get money, they fucking bitches. Can I tell you something? There's this guy in my life, ne? Who he he offered me like the preposition to just be like, actually, you know what? That story is irrelevant. Forget that I even mentioned that. It's irrelevant because it's not even in the context of Issy right now. So forget I even said that. But a lot of guys They know that if they have somebody that they grow with, unless they're good guys, of course, there's good guys on this globe. We know that. Not everybody is a bad person, not everybody is a good person, regardless of whether you're a male or female. We get it. We know. Okay. So, I'm obviously talking about the douchebags, guys. I even forgot my train of thoughts because that comment just rings through my head. It's like, Cinderella, that's not your shoe. So why are you crying about a shoe that doesn't fit? It's not for you. Keep it pushing. Stop telling me that it's not all men. We know, but it's majority of you. For enough for me to generalize a statement that's generally true. But anyway, men, they very rarely, I think, ever stay loyal to the person that they've built with. At some point, it's like they reach a level of wealth where now all these women and whatever are flocking at them, whether they're lying to them about having a wife or not. I see it a lot in Cape Town. When I was in Cape Town, yeah, like you just hear these men wire saying that they're married and they have kids, but they out here outside like a doormat because they have money and they want to fuck bitches. That's literally Jonas. He got money and he was fucking bitches. Okay, and then as Essie and Joyce and Matipa, I feel like I should save that piece for last. Okay, so what can we learn from Essie? Don't date a playboy. Don't date somebody that doesn't prioritize you, that doesn't choose you, show up for you. As a woman, you are never ever supposed to chase a man. I caught myself Ning Ning Yanamo almost chasing after one. Ay! And I called myself to order and I'm like, wait, this is unnatural. Men are chasers. I am meant to be chased, okay? Not the other way around. Not the other way around. I'm supposed to be courted. I'm supposed to be pursued. Okay? Not the other way around. But with Essie, guys, don't be with a playboy. I said that so many times. I feel like for the past fucking 9 minutes I've been saying don't be with playboy, don't be with playboy. But don't. Don't be with a playboy. Be with somebody that chooses you, that loves you, that ticks all of your boxes. And that you're also attracted to. This thing of like the person that's good for you is going to be someone that you're not attracted to. I don't believe in that. I believe that I can have both. Someone that I'm attracted to and that is good to me. And when I talk attraction, I'm not just talking from a vain perspective of physical things. Like be this tall, be this big, look, this jawline must do this eyebrow must sit like this. I'm not just talking about that. Emotional attraction, mental attraction, spiritual attraction, intellectual attraction, also physical attraction. Be attracted to that person and also may they treat you well. Don't feel like you can't have both. Please don't ever in your life feel like you cannot have both because you can. Because you can. Okay? You can. Now, moving from Essie, because I feel like I've said what I've needed, that tidbit of advice. Moving to Joyce. Hell hath no fury like a woman's scorn. Let me tell you something. I feel like there's things that we can take notes from Joyce, and there's things that we also shouldn't do. Number one, what you should not do is let a man tell you more than once that he doesn't want you. From the minute that Jonas presented Joyce those divorce papers, she should have signed them immediately. Immediately. For the pure fact that he was willing in that moment to divorce his wife, well, second wife, of many, 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 many years for his side chick. Clearly, you've never valued me. You didn't care about me, nor respect me or this relationship enough. So what should you do? Walk away. Walk away from situations where you're disrespected. Walk away where your non-negotiables have been compromised. Walk away where your values and your standards have been compromised or betrayed. Boundaries that have been crossed. Never ever stay in those situations because what you're doing is you're making your non-negotiables negotiable. The line is going to keep shifting. That boundary that was crossed you're gonna try to draw a new line, a new boundary. Guess what? It's also gonna be crossed. You're just gonna keep inching forward to your own despair, giving the person who's busy betraying you more room to just literally dilly dally and do whatever they want. That's literally what Jonas did. Never let a man tell you twice that he doesn't want you. From the minute he says "Tsebe, Tsamai," just be like "shop" and go. It can hurt, but you'll heal. It's okay. O tla gomola one day. Pelo ya gago e tlo ke lokisha one day, and one day you'll think about it as a past memory. Because now look at the trauma that she experienced of staying and not leaving the man that told her that I don't want you. I want Matipa. I told her, like yeah, I would regret. I would regret it. It's like, yo, okay, fine. Nakasaina. Nakasaina. But what I want to say is follow your heart. Follow your heart and follow your heart and follow your heart, which is what Joyce did. Don't compromise again. But like I'm saying, don't compromise on anything. Don't lower anything that you've set at a certain point just for the sake of something. Especially if it's a logical, reasonable standard or whatever. Like, please, ne? But follow your heart. Because one thing, ne, a piece of advice I even once upon a time gave to a friend when she was in her own situation. I was like, you know what? You leave when you're tired. Follow your heart and never ever regret following your heart. Because at some point, if you really feel like you don't want to leave, one day you will leave because you're tired. Like umo, grateful. Like you want no more of it anymore. That's when you leave and stay away. If it needs to get to that point, then let it get to that point. If that's the way that you're gonna have to learn your lesson. Hey, c'est la vie. If there was a lesson that you needed to learn and that was the way you learned it, then hey, you know? But preferably don't let it get to that point. But follow your heart. What else did Joyce do that I didn't like? Bringing her, like, oh, what she did, but like she invited Matipa into the house, accepted her as a second wife and all of that. But it's like, what about you? She did this, yo guys, please don't ever let love blind you to the point where you're literally doing nonsensical things. She was doing everything to satisfy that man, even if it was breaking her own heart. For a man that basically cared nothing for her. A man that has his own demons and issues. Yo, Hashem, I'd rather chew cheek. I would rather swallow cheek and chew an electric fence at the same time. And I want to say that for Joyce, definitely the reason why she didn't leave was probably because she was scared of starting over. That's a real fear that people have. And it may look scary. Taking the first step is always scary. It's always scary. But once you've taken it, it makes the next step easier. You just have to take it. Ladies, the people that came before us, the women that came before us, they fought for our rights. They fought for us to have education and a place in society where we can achieve as much equality as possible. Even though we're not all the way there yet, we're still better than we were before. But you see what I'm saying? Because they took those steps, even though it was hard, definitely because even though it was hard, like I can only imagine how hard it was back in the day. Even though it was hard, it took us an inch forward as society to get better and strive for better as well still. So don't be scared to take that step. Jumping into the unknown. This thing of staying with a monster that you know. Ay! Yay. Why must I stay with a monster when I can be by myself? I don't know about you guys, but I'm very comfortable in my solitude. I've actually thought about this before, like even before the Polygamist came out, because I was just thinking of like my dating life and just life in general, and how the dating game is and how men can be towards me or whatever. And I was just thinking, like, would I be okay with being single for the rest of my life? And the question is yes. I mean, the answer is yes. I found some comfortability, not even some, I found complete comfortability in my own company, in my own space. Like I'm comfortable, I don't feel lonely. I'm loved by God, I'm loved by my mom, I'm loved by my friends, I'm loved by my siblings, my aunts and uncles, nieces, nephews, cousins, whatever. I am loved. How dare I put myself in a position of suffering when I possibly have so much more happiness and peace being single and alone? I'm not going to compromise my peace of mind, my sanity, for the sake of the fact that I'm alone. Ah, I will wait. I will be single and I will wait until I feel like, okay, you know what? This is it. This is something that's right. This is something I can do and move forward with. But don't be scared to take that first step, guys. Don't be scared to take that first step. And it's going to bring me to a point that I want to like kind of wrap it up in, but don't be scared to take the first step and also enjoy your own company. Take yourself out on dates, buy yourself nice things or the things that you can afford. Literally understand that you can keep, you can be sane and happy and peaceful and be loved in your own space. Period. I don't even think there's anything else I need to add on to that. Be comfortable in your solitude, please, and don't be scared to take the first step. Another thing that Joyce did, man, I don't know how she stayed for as long as she did. Maybe it's because I'm an impatient person, and most of the time with some things I'm a no nonsense person. Lately, I've been trying to be less of a, how can I say this? I don't want to say less strict because never strict programs forever. But I've been trying to be more gracious. That is the perfect word to use. Much more gracious in my actions, in my attitude, in whatever kind of relationship I have with anybody in my life. However, I don't know if I can be as patient as Joyce was in staying in that much BS for as long as she did. Oof. And also the concept of, I genuinely feel like the concept of staying in a marriage or a relationship for the sake of the kids is never anything that's going to work. Here's why I say that. If you are in a situation that is literally debilitating and deteriorating your every bit of happiness and self, how are you going to, if you can't even show up to be your best for yourself, how can you be the best mother to your kids? How can you be the best friend to your friends? How can you be the best daughter to your parents? The best sibling to your siblings? You can never be your best if you're not even your best with yourself, I think. There's always going to be some form of lacking in there. And eventually, I think it's going to even hurt the kids because also, kids are not stupid. Kids are not blind. They live with you. Some things that you may try hide, they may know and see. And then it's like, what kind of example does that set for your kids? We literally saw with Jonas's kid that he had with Joyce, the son, I forgot his name. He literally became his father. I can only imagine what maybe life would have been like for him, the son, if maybe Joyce had left Jonas and just either raised him by herself. Like, my brother's an upstanding guy. Shit. You know what I mean? And he's raised by his single mom. He's a great person. Would never do anything like that. And then you think of maybe, or she maybe remarried, but a person that's actually good for her. He would have had an example of what a good man actually should be. But instead, she stayed in that marriage where it hurt the kids. It painted a whole different dynamic, you know? And yes, this is not true for every child that they become something horrible, but there's just, as they're living through that tumultuous marriage, something happens mentally. Maybe there's some trauma. Maybe there's just a memory that's embedded in there that never changes. Maybe there's just a memory that's embedded in there that never changes. Maybe it changes a certain way you behave or act or your attitude or whatever. Something happens and something changes. I don't never have that much patience and grace where you're standing for BS, guys. Please. Oh, please, 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 please. Man, the grass is green where you water it. Nah. And in Joyce's case, she was watering it as much as she could, but Jonas was also there destroying it. So be careful who you are sharing this grass with, because you're going to need to nurture it with that person, and you can't nurture with somebody that's literally there destroying every little bit of it. And then to the point where now Joyce, I feel like every person in deep down in their heart has like a little bit of crazy, that part of them that can get like crazy furious, like mad. Deep down inside, it just takes a certain thing probably to like trigger and open that. And unfortunately for Joyce, she stayed so long that it took her there. It took her to a point where she wanted to shoot this man. It took her to a point where she gave him HIV indirectly. And let him die, even know that on his deathbed. Like, act so what I would imagine to be so out of character. I will never want a man or any person, man or woman or whatever, to ever push me to the limit where I need to act out of my character for the sake of being so hurtful and angry at you. Please, guys, don't have that amount of patience and grace. Your goodness gracious. That's why you should walk away from situations like that. So you don't even have to think about that. So that when you're surrounded by people, you don't even have to think of how gracious or patient you need to be because you're being treated well. Yeah, man. Another thing I guess Joyce did or didn't do. What else did she do or didn't do that like kind of riled me up a little bit? Mm, I think that's it. Yeah, I'm just really mad at her for not leaving at the first jump, like from the first time. Because at the end of the day, Joyce should know who she is. Her dad gave Jonas those tenders. I'm sure she could have afforded a good lawyer to help her in this divorce for her to get as much as she deserved to have. Because Jonas would have never been who he was without Joyce. Ever. And it's like, Jonas would have probably wanted to take as much as possible because, his company is the CEO, da 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 da. And he's entitled to a certain portion, but he might try to take everything because he thinks that everything is because of him. But it's like, you're not even acknowledging the people who are there to support you and get you to that point. Imagine! Yo! That man never loved her. Well, he loved her. I can't even call that love if I'm being honest. That's hatred. You can't treat somebody like that and then you say that you love them. That's not love. Maybe heavy infatuation. You really, really like something about me. But if you loved me, you would never do that. You never, ever, ever want to intentionally hurt somebody that you love. And then I also don't fuck with, this is a caveat, but I also don't fuck with people calling cheating a mistake. Guys, a mistake is if I'm running and I trip. I didn't do that intentionally. A mistake is if I'm trying to put a glass jar of mayonnaise in the fridge, but then it falls. Oops. But pouring your energy into someone, having sex with someone, talking to someone, that's not a mistake. Those are intentional actions. You know what you're doing. Where's the mistake? Where is the thing that was accidental? Because everything reeks of intentionality. And then you want to say a mistake? Fuck off. I feel like for anybody who even wants to forgive a situation where they are being cheated on, which is okay if the person really wants to change and they really just regret and are remorseful of their actions and really want to change and rebuild trust and things like that, that's okay. You don't do it. But don't ever allow them to apologize and say that it's a mistake. If anything, they should admit that they did it and it's wrong. But don't piss me off and say that it's a mistake. What? You trip on it? You were tripping on her body naked or something? Like you tripped and fell into her vagina? Get the fuck out of here with that shit. Don't accept such measly and lousy excuses. The most stupidest shit that doesn't even make sense in the logical, reasonable mind. A rational person would never call that a mistake. So don't fall for that bullshit. It's not a mistake. It's a wrongful action. And if they can admit that, I think that's a first step. And then what else about Joyce? I feel like I already said it, but don't let anybody let you act out of character or put you to that point of acting out of character. Like, don't you dare. Don't you ever dare or allow somebody to do that. Like, no, nobody should have that amount of power over you. Hence, self worth, I think, is very important. Like, if you are secure in yourself and you know yourself, you should know when to walk away. You should know to control your emotions because sometimes the worst decisions can be made from emotional moments. Really and honestly, like, and that's a very scary thing to think about, in my opinion. Hey, then we get to Matipa. Yeah. Oh gosh. Don't be a homewrecker. Don't you dare be a homewrecker. Guys, one thing about what you reap is what you sow. And if you're going to sow home wrecking seeds, I don't know how your home is going to be wrecked, whether it's by a woman or whether it's by the hand of your husband or whatever. Something is going to happen. You're going to reap what you have sown. Sowed, whatever the past tense of sow is. Yeah. Don't be a homewrecker. Don't be a Matipa. Like, guys, there's so many. I guess that she wanted a rich and powerful man. I'm sure there was a single rich, powerful man somewhere out there that she could have had. She was with. She was with Jonas's brother. He had money. I guess he didn't have the CEO status that she was looking for. Obviously, she went in there with her own agenda. Don't be that way, guys. This thing of scheming and being cunning and manipulative to try get into a situation. Don't do that. Don't do that. And then the one thing that I want to say is never rely on a man for your success like the way Matipa did. Because one thing about it is, if you're going to give someone the power to give you something, you're giving them the power to also take it away from you. I'm telling you right now. Because Matipa probably even slept with Jonah so that she could get the promotion and be in this high position. Ladies, please do, please, please, please. You are smart. You are important. You are smart. You are smart. You are smart. You are intelligent. Do not think that you need to sleep with a man just so you can climb to a certain part of your career ladder. And I believe in God. My God is way bigger than those men will ever be. And I will succeed because of him. That's who I choose to follow, and that's who I allow to lead me. Way bigger than those men will ever be with their puny little attitudes. How dare they think that you need to sleep with them so that you could get to a certain point in your career? Baby girl, don't even debase yourself like that. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Don't you dare allow yourself to be objectified to that point, because at the end of the day, all you are is sex. And if you go out of line, what are they going to do to discipline you? Threaten your job, threaten your career, fire you, lower your salary, whatever they can do to control you. That's what they're going to do. That's what it's about, control. And if you think that you have control in that moment, you don't. If somebody's going to threaten your livelihood through your career, that's insanity. Don't allow people to do that to you, please. And if anybody has ever tried that with you, secretly gather as much evidence as you can and report those sons of bitches, okay? Report them to the police, because South African police are useless. Still, give it a try. Report it to the police, report it to HR, and if none of those things work, take it to fucking social media, bitch. Tear that reputation down to the ground. But make sure that you have proof, because it's very easy for powerful people to sue you and have back up with these lawyers because you've decided to talk about something with no evidence behind it. But even if you have gone through something like that, especially when it comes to, warning, I'm so sorry if this triggers anybody, but even if it comes to something like sexual assault, still speak about it. if it's your experience and you obviously know that it's true, and maybe you didn't have the evidence for it. I've been in a situation like that where I've been sexually assaulted and I don't have the evidence to prove it, so I didn't go report it. But still talk about it. I didn't talk about this person. Should I talk about this person? They own a fish and chips shop. They came to me on some nonsense and touched me very inappropriately. I don't want to say where they have this shop because it's kind of close to where I live, and I don't want people knowing where I live because people are weird as fuck. But yeah, man, it's weird. Like, please share your experiences and don't ever fight for your life because it's about your life. Fight, 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 fight. Kick, punch. Another tip, ladies, please learn self-defense classes. Me, I also want to go. I want to go to self-defense classes. I want to own a legal gun for the purpose of self-defense only. Because man, these men are big and strong. So if I have to fight for myself, pew pew. Pew fucking pew, bitch. Okay? But only if I need to defend myself, because again, I don't condone violence here. I don't condone like illegal anything here at all. At all. At all. Be a law abiding citizen, please. But yeah, don't do what Matiba did, because you saw what kind of situation it got her in, man. Don't be a homewrecker. I think we all know this. And I guess the last thing that I want to say is ladies, you are your own person before you are someone else's partner. Please make sure you have some form of independence for yourself. Get an education, because a man can leave you all they want. Your degree will never leave you. Get that education. Get your own bag. Don't be getting your bag from a man like that and depending on that for your livelihood. Because, like I said, if you're going to give them the power to give it to you like that, you're giving them the power to take it away. Because let's think about these kinds of situations where men are the kind to be like giving you money and sustaining your life. They're the people with money buying you things, doing all these things. And I hope you understand that you're definitely not the only one that they're doing this for. And guess what they're going to tell you? You can't be with any kind of man or any other man in this apartment that I got you, or in this spot that I got you, or in the that I got you, that I got you, that I got you. You can't do fuck all. That's who you're supposed to be loyal to for the rest of until you're using that person's money. But they can do whatever they want because they're the ones with money. Imagine. That's why you must have your own. Have your own and do what you want. It's okay to want a man with money. It's okay to want a man with power and things like that. But girl, at least have your own. So that if somebody ever dares to even try to take something away from you, you can sustain yourself. You can take care of yourself. You're not even staying in a situation where you're compromising everything because you really need this thing that they're giving you. Now you're literally debasing yourself because you're staying in a situation that you don't even deserve to be in, because you deserve love and goodness and kindness and a good man. Be independent. Have your own shit. Strive to have your own shit. Be a boss. Be a fucking boss. My goal, as should I think any woman's goal be, is just to be able to like there was once upon a time. Let me not even say my goal. This actually happened. I was on a date with somebody once upon a time, and at the end of that date, hey, they were a little bit older than me. Not by too much, I don't think. I forgot how old they were, but not by too much. But they, at the end of that date, as a joke, I guess, they said like, I bet that if we were to leave here, you wouldn't be able to pay the bill or some shit like that. I looked at him like, and then he ended up paying for it, and I was just like, nigga, please. I could pay for this shit and tip and take myself home, so don't you fucking dare. And that's the same attitude you should have, because that's what you have. If a man ever dares to say something like that, or that they can't do this or that you can't do that, that you could do it for yourself and then some, maybe even double it. Have your own, have your own, have your own, have your own wealth, your own sense, your own worth. Love to yourself. respect for yourself and the things that you want and demand from other people. Don't you dare compromise because you will only be setting yourself up. Period. Because at the end of the day, the only person that's benefiting from those good deeds is the person that's probably cheating you so foully. And how dare they get the benefit while you're suffering? Oh, never. I will never. Never. Yo. And I've been in love before. And I walked away. Look at me now. I'm okay. I'm alive. I'm breathing. I had people after that person. I'm okay. So guys, and I'm not saying that it was a dire situation like a Jonas or anything like that. It was for its own reasons. They went to that magnitude, but for its own reasons. But like, yeah, guys, man, please, ladies, I beg of thee, do not be an Issy. Do not be a Joyce. Do not be a Matipa. Be the best you that you can possibly be. Also, this idea of using men the way that they use us, I hear that argument. I just don't agree with it because here's this thing. There's this saying. I don't know if it's an actual saying or if it's a saying that I made up, but I'm pretty sure I've heard it somewhere. It's like, "Tlogela kolobe, ke kolobe." Amanyana ke check pele before ke bolela dilo tsa setlhakane. Eh, ke kolobe. Excuse me. But the saying goes like this. Tlogela kolobe e dlala ka ramaraga. Translation, let a pig play in the mud. Which means if somebody's gonna do something, don't do what they did to you to them. So, for example, if men have used you, don't use them. Because at the end of the day, you're gonna end up also becoming a pig that's playing in the mud. And you're not a pig. And I feel as though it's so important for us to never become the people that treated us in a particular way. If you're going to call yourself a kind, loving person, be a kind, loving person to everybody. I'm telling you, this is where God comes in because that's just what it is. Be a kind, loving person to everybody. I forgot the chapter and the verse, but it's in Romans 12, where it says a portion where it's like you must basically be nice to your enemies and even pray for them. Be nice to the point where they burn with shame because you're so nice to them. Don't ever compromise who you are because of how somebody else treated you, or change who you are because of how somebody else treated you. I'm a very big believer in what you reap is what you sow. What goes around comes around. The pain or however deceitful or whatever kind of way you want to treat somebody else in some way, shape, or form, that's going to come back to you 100,000%. 100,000. Before your time on this earth ends, it'll come back to you. So the best that you can do for yourself is be the best you that you can be. And hopefully that'll lead to, not even hopefully, it will lead to you having people in your life that also share the same values as you and show up in the same way as you do, to the point where you wouldn't even need to do anything fucked up because they show up correctly in friendship or a relationship. Like, I don't have to tell my girls how to act because they are amazing, amazing women. I love those girls down. They just know how to show up as great people. And I love that. I don't have to do tit for tat to make someone who possibly doesn't even care that they treated you the way that they treated you. And now I'm gonna treat you the way that you treated me. They probably won't care. Cause think about it like this. If a guy cheats on you, nah. Woo, woo, horrible, fuck you, got it. And you stay or whatever, and you stay to cheat back on them. When you cheat back on them, they're gonna be so heartbroken, yes. But you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna leave you. So it's like, okay, yes, you've caused them pain in that moment, but it's like, bro, in my eyes, it's like, what was the point? I guess that self gratification comes in, but it's like, what was the point? Because now you're a cheater too. That's not a good look, in my opinion. I'd rather be the person that just leaves. Cheating is such a perfect example to use. I mean, we're talking about the polygamist. That's what the whole fucking thing was about. Jonas being a cheater. A cheater. And now I can even call, I guess, Joyce to some extent a great woman because she never ever even dared to do that. She would never even dare to do that to Jonas, like cheat back. She just did something absolutely diabolical, but at least we can say that she's not a cheater. So please, Oskaba koloba ya dala karamaraga le koloba yungwe. Eba motho. Re koloba ebe kolobe. Wena as motho eba motho. Translation: let the pig be a pig, you be a person. Okay? But yeah, guys, that's my lowdown on how I felt about the polygamist. I'm not going to even talk about how much I hate Jonas because I feel like I'm so sick and tired of talking about how much I hate what men do or how men act and all those things because it's like, even if I complain about it, it's not going to change and it's not my job to change that, you know? And it's like the only man I would ever want to consider or talk about or be as concerned about like that is my husband or my partner. I'm single, so I don't have one like that. But yeah. So I'm not going to even talk about what a piece of shit Jonas is. We know that he's a piece of shit. I'm just saying, ladies, don't be an Essie. Find someone who's going to love you and show up for you and your kids the way that you deserve to be treated. Don't be a Joyce and beg to stay with a man who so clearly despises you. Don't be a Matipa and land yourself in situations that were never going to work in the first place. And always, always, always have your own. Stand 10 toes down for you, girl. Okay? And for your kids. Especially if you have kids. What example do you want to set for them? And then do that. And then to the men who watch this, don't be a Jonas or anything like that, please. It won't kill you to be a good person. It won't kill you if you're not a cheater. It won't kill you to tell the truth and stop lying. So for fuck's sake, tighten up and be a good person. But yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe and follow on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Snapchat for the pod. I don't have Snapchat as a personal person. I've never really used Snapchat ever in my life. Even when it came out, I would just take pictures with the photos and save them in my gallery, but I would never post anything. But yeah, man. Love you all. May God bless you. And to the women out there, may God bless you abundantly and give you a man that will love you down and treat you like an absolute queen. Because that's what you deserve, okay? But don't be a bad person, okay? Again, let a pig be a pig. You be a person, a good person. But yeah, God bless you. Mwah, 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 mwah. Goodbye.